Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. We are getting through the nitty-gritty. We are transitioning into the month of December, which is crazy just to think about. Week 13, is it? Wow. But yeah, this is going to be very tough to we got these like last couple weeks here, just to think about it, it's nice that we still got a little more football after that, but a lot really to determine, and that's what's important. One of the last big bye weeks for a lot of teams. 6 teams on bye: Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, Las Vegas Raiders, Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, and Baltimore Ravens all on bye this week. That's a big bye week. So, and if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and let's get down to business. Thursday Night Football's matchup is the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Normally I'd say Dallas is the most overrated team. I feel like they are. They've been getting the most easy schedules. And the opponents that beat them, I feel like are teams that, are good, except the Cardinals. Somehow it's so laughable that game was still an L for them. But looking at it, Dallas has been looking so phenomenal as of lately. I feel like they're going to keep their momentum going. Seattle's kind of trending downward a little bit, so I feel like Dallas at home is going to be able to get the victory here. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. This has just been a on and off year. Jonathan Taylor, the whole drama with him in the offseason, and all this other stuff, but Indianapolis has been able to kind of get through with injuries and all this stuff. Now Jonathan Taylor apparently is getting surgery on his hand and he's out for the year. But you know what? This was a season I don't think, somehow if everything ended today, Indianapolis would be in the playoffs, which is shocking to me. But I guess Indianapolis keeps chopping through. And with that being said, I guess I'm going to take the Colts to beat the Titans here. Next up, the Chargers taking on the Patriots. The Chargers are the biggest chokers in the NFL. For some reason, they just seem to choke every single game. But I feel like the Patriots, I think they've given up at Mac Jones. The season's over for the Patriots. I don't know how they can win another game. They look so bad this year. But between the two, I guess I just got to go with the Chargers. That's just instinct. But yeah, maybe if Mac Jones is benched and someone else starts like Bailey Zappi, maybe the Patriots will actually win. But I feel like at this point, they want to get a quarterback, and I think it's best if they lose out. Next up, Detroit Lions at the New Orleans Saints. Detroit obviously had a bye week. They had the Packers. Sorry, I thought they had a bye week, but that was already happening. They played the Packers and got upset on Thanksgiving, but it's Thanksgiving. I think they'll move past it. With a win over the New Orleans Saints. That is how they'll move past it. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Now the Jets are doing so bad, Aaron Rodgers is considering, I don't know if I should return now, as if that wasn't what we all assumed was going to happen. But at this point, you know what? I feel like the Jets, I feel like they're going to continue to start Tim Boyle or Trevor Siemian for the rest of the season, or until Aaron Rodgers makes his decision. I don't think there's really much I can say here. I think the Jets defense will do fine enough, but I guess I'm just going to say Atlanta wins, only because normally I'd say the Jets win. I feel like if they actually let Zach Wilson get a chance, I'd say Jets win, because Falcons they're just trash in my opinion. But anything could happen. I don't know. I'm gonna say Falcons win, but even though realistically I think the Jets are just they're going backwards. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I thought Arizona maybe was gonna get some more wins with Kyler coming back, but I don't think Arizona's really going anywhere at this point. Right now, they had the number 2 overall pick. They're just not looking so good. Pittsburgh's the first game with Matt Canada being fired, they went over 400 yards offense. Well, that's exactly what happens when you have a crap offensive coordinator. Defense got the job done last week once again. This time I say they'll do it again. Defense will get the job done against Arizona. Pittsburgh will get another win. Next up, Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. Seems to be that Washington always plays up to really good teams and plays like trash against bad teams. I don't know what it is. So I'm assuming they'll get some close competition, but in the end, I say Miami will get the win here. Next up, the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. This is a big one for me. I don't know who to pick here. Denver, they lost 5 in a row. They lost 5 games, and then they won 5 games in a row, and they're above 500. What a turnaround for Denver. Looking like it's like allowing 70 points in a game in like the third week, in week 3, and people saying that Peyton should be fired, to a big turnaround where they've won 5 straight games. This is incredible. Houston, on the other hand, CJ Stroud right now I'd say is the favorite for Rookie of the Year, looking very promising. A close game, but Jaguars ended up coming up on top. I feel like this is going to be a very close game as well. If I had to pick, I feel like Denver's been kind of getting through with very close games. They haven't had a dominant victory in those 5 games. I feel like they will lose some games, I think, and this, I think, will be one of them. I think Houston's going to take down Denver here. Broncos country will stop riding. Next up, the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Divisional rivalries are always good. However, Carolina just fired all their people. We all know the protocol. If that happens, Carolina wins. So I'm going to say the Carolina Panthers win that one. I know, weirdly enough, I know how that works. All right, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Cleveland, I just don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. You know, they lost Deshaun Watson for the year. Then they've started P.J. Walker some games. They decided he's not fit. Then they started this rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And you know what? He's done actually decent. Now he's injured. They signed Joe Flacco, so who knows if he'll even play a game. I feel like the thing about it is Cleveland, I feel bad because they built their team up this year to actually be a playoff contending team. And because they don't have a starting quarterback, I feel like it's going to be very difficult. The Rams I think the Rams are getting back on track here. I think the Rams are going to beat I think the Rams will win this game. All right, big matchup. We have the San Francisco 49ers going into Philadelphia Eagles. Now, our NFC Championship game from last year, obviously, I think it wasn't much of a chance because of Brock Purdy's injury, but Brock Purdy is there. He's fully healthy. Jalen Hurts, obviously, a big thriller and probably one of the best performances of his career last week. Second half, really. That's when he shined. But Philly, you know, somehow, to me, honest, they've been getting through with all these wins. Their only losses to the Jets this season, and that was a close game. All their games were winnable. They were all close games. So let's be real. They haven't been able to blow out their opponents. I feel like, I'm going to say, to be honest, even though Philly has not lost a home game in quite some time ever since Jalen Hurts has taken over, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the 49ers will finally beat the Eagles at home. I think it's going to finally happen. We almost saw it last week. If Josh Allen knows how to throw correct passes to his receiver, he would have caught that and ended the game there. But honestly, anything can happen. I'm going to say 49ers get the win here. And Sunday Night Football, we had the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Green Bay Packers. Pretty excited about this one. Patrick Mahomes finally going into Lambeau Field. Anything could happen. I'm happy that it's Sunday Night Football, but I feel like it's going to be a closer game than anticipated. Every time I've picked the opposing team, the Packers end up winning. I did that the last couple weeks. Chargers ended up winning. Lions ended up winning. But I'm going to be realistic and say, yeah, the Chiefs are going to win this game. I don't want to sit there and say not, because I feel like the refs are going to bail them out anyways. But I'll say this, if the Packers play up to their competition and if they don't get blown out of this game, I think that would be great. If they keep this a close game, then I think that's going to really make the Packers motivated going into these final 5 weeks, because looking at the rest of their schedule, I think most of those games are all winnable for the Packers, which is great because I would have never assumed we would even be in this spot. So I'll just say the Chiefs win. I'm just going to say I feel like they are going to probably win this game, but yeah. And then Monday Night Football. What would have been a good matchup, unfortunately, is no more. Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, this would have been Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence, aka the 2019 or 2020. Yeah, it was 2020, right before COVID. It was the championship game from that year. But unfortunately, no Joe Burrow. The Bengals looked like absolute trash last week without him. So I'm assuming the Jaguars will get the job done here. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time.